Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hop. It is Sunday, August 1st, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new, please be sure to check out my website at lisahop.com, as well as my Facebook business page under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hop. And for those of you who every week come back and give me wonderful feedback, I appreciate you all so much. It's the reason why I do this hopefully in a way of service, in a way of support, to get your mind thinking, to help you to achieve your greatest life possible. So your feedback matters. It's very important. So please keep it coming. I appreciate it, as I said. Well, welcome. The last couple of nights, I've been sleeping a little bit more deeper than usual, and I've been waking up with a bit of a scratchy throat. Hopefully, it goes away during the day, but hopefully it won't come back and during this podcast and cause me to have to cough or clear my throat. And let's hope for the best with that. Today, with this challenged throat, I'd like to dive into a bit of a deeper topic, which actually hesitated on doing my podcast this morning because I was thinking about if I really should go there. But I am going to do it in such a way that it does get into a bit of a deeper topic, but it also, I also keep it lighter at the same time. Because this podcast is not meant to be divisive, though it will always tell you the truth. It is meant to serve, and sometimes it triggers, but it's not the intention. It's not about one person being right or one person being wrong or anything that would cause today's topic. And today's topic is the lie of separation. There is a number one massive, huge lie that we all live with every single day. And that is the lie that we are separated. That we are separated from each other. That we can be separated from each other. It's just not true. We are all part of the whole. We are all part of oneness. There is not a God that is separate from us, or an angel that's separate from us, or a human being that's separate from us. Even if you no longer talk to someone, they are not separate from you. We are all made of energy, high source, high vibrational energy, powerful energy. The same energy that is often called source or God or higher consciousness, we are made of. And we are connected to each other. There is a oneness of this whole universe, all of creation. We cannot be apart. So what does that mean? Well, we're at a very trying time right now. A very large challenge. It's playing out right before us. The playing out of our personal freedoms, our choices. What is our right? What is not your right? Free will. It's all at the forefront. Perhaps at a time when it's never quite been that way before. It's definitely a larger time. Or it's definitely in the top 10. And so what is important to be understood is that yes, we are all given the gift of free will. Our will is It's personal, it's intimate. Another person can never, I don't want to say the word should. Truthfully, another person can never change your free will. Only you can change that will. And because you want to, for you. Doesn't matter how much you want to be a better person or love someone or want to, have the best intentions. We can always change our beliefs. We can always change our subconscious. But the will stands on its own. That is why when someone crosses over to heaven, no one has a say except them and God. Their will and God's will. No matter how much you want them to stay, how much you love them. When they go, they go. No matter how old, how tragic, how unfair. Another's will is out of your hands. You can never change another person unless they choose. And once again, because we hear the love songs, no matter how much they want to choose sometimes, their will is too strong and they just can't. Choose you, choose change, choose it to be different. But with that free will comes the lie of separation, because it causes us to say, it is my free will, my choice, to choose to do what I wish to do, whether it be vaccinated, or own a gun, or use a gun, or choose a way of life that may harm others. We feel that as our personal choice. We take it to the voting booth. We take it to our personal desires. And that's not to say that we should not. However, it's important to understand that being part of the oneness, being part of the wholeness means that your personal choice does matter. And this is not me advocating for you to make a choice different than what you want to make. It's me telling you the truth. The man who lives by himself out in a Polynesian island affects climate change just as much as a person in New York City. A smoker in LA affects the whole, the same as a non-smoker in Italy. We are all connected to each other. So this week and last week and perhaps in the previous weeks, there's been a lot more passion about what's happening in our world because we're feeling it more. We're knowing more that what one does affects all of us. And it's a test and it's a lesson. And it's an important lesson at this time. It's part of our evolution as a species, as a planet, and our expansion as a universe. Perhaps even it can be thought of as a test. But that doesn't mean there should be judgment on it or grade, because Once again, we're part of the oneness. So what does that mean more? I don't mind explaining. When you judge, you will be judged. Also, when you judge, you are feeling separate from that which you are judging. All of the choices, or most of choices right now that are prevalent, are because of fear. Fear is the feeling of separation. If you have a fear of something, whether it be change, or a shot, or a plane, you are feeling separation. And separation does not exist. So it's very important, as much as possible, yes, to live in survival, to eat, to make sure that you have an awareness of safety. But ultimately, it is important to look within your thoughts and in your feelings. Where is the choice coming from? It's been interesting to me that, being a small business owner, I ask when someone walks into my office, because as a small business owner and being in a closed space, I have learned it is my right to ask if someone is vaccinated. If they are not, I kindly request that they put their mask on, and I wear mine. And what I have found within my professional settings and within my personal settings, that those who are not vaccinated love or voluntarily tell me why they're not. And I too am tested by the trigger of separation, because recently there has not been one truthful reason. It's been off YouTube or fear or, well, we'll just cover those both, because it's really honestly all about fear. It's not about wisdom. I have not one yet. Anything backed up by science. And so as a human being who also deals with separation, I have to watch. And I know not to react, because that would cause further energy that I would not want. So I'd like to plainly explain some more about oneness and separation and fear again. Everything that we do impacts the all. Our emotions, our thoughts. It impacts us personally, but it impacts the all as well. We're not aware of that because we were born into our body with senses, with organs, with ego, with feelings, and they take over. So many of you listening to this right now may not understand fully the oneness because, like me, you live with how you're feeling. And those feelings, those perceptions, cause us to form a sense of reality. But the reality is only formed from the senses, which we discard when we transition back home, away from this earth. Sometimes, and not often, people ask me, what's the purpose? And maybe you've heard that question out there as well. What is the purpose of us if we are energy and we are free and we are part of the oneness of all love, immeasurable love, healing, mercy? What is the purpose of us taking on a physical body? Well, it really comes down to because of the experience, overcoming those senses, achieving greater good and knowledge while overcoming the obstacles of the conscious mind, of the senses. It's like a hardcore boot camp. Now, all along, whispering within is that connection to Source, is that connection to the oneness. And you will speak about it in your life. You will notice it. It's the moments when the miracles happen. When hope arrives in time. When you knew something was going to happen and then it did. But more, it's the moment where you have instantaneous healing, where you feel the unconditional love that you would have for a child. That is when you're truly experiencing that oneness. So separation keeps us apart from feeling and healing and living within that oneness. But it is always there. We can never block it completely. And truthfully, oneness is better. Separation causes wars, famine, hurts, pain, weaknesses, illness, fear, agonies, anxieties, stress, poverty, starvation. None of that exists within oneness. Not one. So it's worth exploring oneness and wholeness. And how can you do that? Here's how. When you go to have a feeling, whether it trigger about something someone says, when you have a memory come up that has caused you pain, and I would like to insert right now that being apart, using oneness and wholeness, is not a replacement from talking to someone who is educated and can be helpful in helping you. A licensed professional. You're not supposed to be in this world on your own. Remember, we're all connected. But this is, what I'm about to say to you is a tool that is helpful. When you are feeling any of those things that I just mentioned, let's say, for instance, you have received a diagnosis. I have used this exercise recently, the other evening, and my body was helped by it. My body was changed. I'm very happy about that. And it's an ongoing journey while I continue with the work. So I give it to you because I know it's helpful. Let's say you've been given a diagnosis or you experience some discomfort in some way. When you start to focus on that moment or that discomfort, take one centered moment and allow yourself to feel it. If it is a short scene of your past where someone harmed you, you must be ready to deal with it to the best of your ability. You can bring it up as just a memory without fully reliving it. Just as you can allow yourself to acknowledge the physical discomfort that you have for whatever reason. And then in the very next moment, while sitting peacefully, quietly, and undisturbed, go to a moment where you have felt the most massive, immeasurable, unconditional love or peace. Perhaps it was the joy of holding a child. Perhaps it was the peacefulness of being in a quiet, idyllic location where all was right with the world. Go back to that moment of immense love, immense peace, immense harmony. And allow that discomfort or that scene to slide into that harmonious, peaceful, immeasurably loving moment. Put it there. Place it there. And then continue to enjoy. the higher vibration of that immeasurable loving moment. You have just commenced healing. And if you do that consistently, you have placed your body and your past into oneness and wholeness, where all healing occurs. Oneness is home. It is where heaven is. There is no lower energies there. It is where all healing takes place. Meditation also can connect you into that link. And then when you're meditating and you feel light and you feel one with higher energy, you can bring up that emotion, you can bring up that scene, and you can place it there. And then continue with that wonderful energy. It can be transformed. You can list each scene throughout your earlier life. That caused you to feel disappointment or pain. Lack of love, harm. Remember, this is not to harm or to make matters worse, but to transform. So you must be in a place where you're ready to handle it. So do it lightly if you must. Bring it up as that person did that to me. And I'm going to surround it with the oneness energy, with the whole energy, with the energy of home, with the energy of heaven. And I'm going to allow that energy to flow through me. And I'm going to reside in it. You will feel lighter. You will feel some healing. You may even feel healed completely. And then watch, notice, over time, does my body feel better? Do my emotions feel better? Am I in a more positive mind frame? For those who try this, the answer, over time perhaps, is yes. So let's keep it simpler. Let's say you make a call to a customer service representative and you feel they're not hearing you or you're not getting the result you wanted or wished for. Instead of getting off the phone, instead of allowing them to pull you in to a feeling of you against them, and maybe being risen to anger or other detrimental feelings that are detrimental to your body, and to your peace of mind. In that very moment when you're dealing with them, even before you get on the phone, send them a good dose of that higher consciousness feeling. And during the conversation, if they say something which tests you, which triggers you, which you know within yourself that is not a good feeling, you grab it right there within yourself, not verbally to them necessarily, just grab it within yourself and put it in that place of idyllic, home, oneness, peace, and harmonious feeling. Place it right there with them while you're still with them. If it does not transform them, it will still bring you good. Because when you transform, it comes back. What you put out comes back. So it is still for your good and the higher good. You will still profit. If you have anxiety about your financial situation right now, your job, costs, that is separation. The truth is, there is more than enough. We have infinite supply. Your perception, your senses, the news, your eyes will say different. But that is once again the separation. When you go to have worry or fear or stress, place yourself in that wonderful home feeling of joy, of abundance. That is why visualizing is so powerful, because you have to visualize, and all the wealthy do it, by the way. When you visualize, you have to put your emotions into it. So if you're emotionally driving the new car, you're emotionally sitting on the beach in front of your beach house, and you feel that you're actually there, and it is real to you, it's got to occur. At some level, you may get in the way with it, with your thoughts of separation from it. But if you practice it daily, it becomes consistent. And as you become consistent in the oneness of feeling it and seeing it, it has to arrive in some form. And you may not. We often don't see how it could come. We often don't see it coming. Place yourself in those moments of lightness. Let your body be light. Let your body be well. Let your spirit be light. Spirit be well. Laugh. Love everything and everyone around you. It will bring healing. It will bring abundance. It will bring health. We're finding out nowadays that Einstein was right about, dare I say, everything he said, at least most. He talked about wholeness, oneness, quantum physics, energy. He was not alone. We are understanding that this is science. And yes, science is a good thing. You are part of the whole. Everything is a part of you, and you are a part of it. To have peace, to have health. Watch. Are your thoughts, feelings, words separation? And if so, do what you can to practice the oneness. It will change this world for the better, and that includes your world. If you have any questions about what you've heard today, you may email me at serenityharbor@verizon.net for clarity. Because I only have a short time. And I always wonder if I speak plainly. It is important to keep in mind that you are here for a purpose, that you are supposed to be part of the whole. You came during this time as a soul because you wanted to be here, to learn, to grow, to expand. If there's something you are not clear on, you may ask. But I do hope that I explained it in a clear way. Try it. Try practicing when you go to react to something, when you go to react in fear, to talk in fear, to make choices in fear. Give that fear over to that higher vibration and allow it to transform, and then make your decision. That will be your free will. Thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, be sure to check out my website at lisahop.com. Please also like, subscribe, and share on YouTube if you're listening from there. You may also follow me and join me on my Facebook page under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hop. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day.